Our aim is to determine which framework will be the most relevant to analyze whether or not Pukka Herbs can retain their ethical approach to business after collaborating with Unilever. We will research our SMART objectives to come to a conclusion. That being said, what does SMART mean? According to an academic document produced by Edinburgh Napier University, SMART objectives are specific, measurable, aligned achievable, realistic relevant, and timely. Our first objective is to understand Pukka Herbs' core values of ethical business practices. Secondly, we want to discover how Unilever has influenced their internal and external environment. Our third objective is to uncover why Pukka Herbs and Unilever collaborated and how it affected Pukka Herbs' core ethics and primary values. Last but not least, we will examine which theory gives the best insight to analyze the partnership presented in the case study. With these objectives in mind, we look to answer the question, who are Pukka Herbs, to have a better context and understanding about this company. In 2001, Pukka Herbs was founded by two individuals known as Tim Westwell and Sebastian Pohl, who acknowledged a gap in the market and developed an ethical, sustainable tea company. They started working with local companies in order to gain recognition and subsequently partnered with Unilever, the internationally recognized conglomerate. Pukka is the Indian word for genuine, authentic, and top quality as defined by the founders on the Our Mission page of the Pukka Herb website. This is very relevant to the company's brand as it links to their global promise of making a genuine contribution to global equity and poverty. This is also backed up by Kevin Havelock, Unilever's refreshment category president, stating that Pukka has strong values and a clear purpose that aligns fully with our own sustainable growth model. According to Euromonitor 2016, Pukka is the fastest growing organic tea company in the world. The herbal, fruit, and green tea market is currently worth $1.6 billion, which trends suggest will become even more prominent globally in the future. We also want to look into what Pukka Herbs do. In an attempt to connect people with the wonders of plants, a business was created that would benefit everyone who engaged with them. Staying true to their original mission, Tim and Sebastian managed to invest £89,000 in 2016 for fair premium funding for producers of materials in the communities they live in. As well as this, they donated £400,000 into environmental charities within the same year. For example, £200,000 went towards the WWF charity in order to protect tigers, rhinos, and elephants in the Western Himalayas. They aim to inspire change in the world. They believe doing good things helps make good things happen. We create things that help you, help nature, and everything in between. It's called conservation through commerce, striving to positively change the world for you, business, and the planet. We also want to uncover who Unilever is. Unilever is an extravagant company owning over 400 brands globally. Some of these brands include Dove, Lipton, Knorr, and Ben & Jerry's. On average, 2.5 billion people worldwide use Unilever products daily. According to Unilever's official website, they're innovating to find new products that make life better. Despite having a massive portfolio of brands under their belt, they still aim to have an ethical core mission in order to help the less fortunate around the world. Following ethics and their core mission, they have developed the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. This is an attempt for them to accomplish their vision, which is to grow their business, but at the same time to separate their environmental footprint from their growth. While doing this, they are aiming to have a positive social impact according to the Unilever website. Their sustainable living primarily has three main goals, which include helping more than 1 billion people improve their health, cut the environmental footprint of their products by half, and to source all of their agricultural raw materials in an economic way, helping the circumstances of people across their value chain. It is because of their beliefs and core mission that Pukka Herbs decided to partner with Unilever. Sebastian Pohl stated that it wholeheartedly embraces Pukka's beliefs, so there is a meeting of values. Next, we looked to explore 3 different theories. These included Tuckman and Jensen's stages of group development, a stakeholder analysis, and Body's framework of environmental influences. We have looked at each of these in depth to allow us to decide which one would be the most suitable and the most beneficial to answer our given question, are Pukka Herbs an ethical sellout? For starters, we will begin to explore our first theory. Bruce W. Tuckman and Mary A. Jensen founded a theory called Stages of Small Group Development in 1977. This assisted in identifying some of the common phases present for team growth and their development. They believe people working together in groups exhibits 5 sequential stages known as forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. However, we believe that this theory is not suitable for use in this particular case, as it does not allow us to answer the question fully and in depth. It will enable us to analyze vaguely Pukka Herbs and Unilever's new working relationship together, but it does not permit us to gather further information. Next, we want to analyze our second theory, the stakeholder analysis. This diagram shows if stakeholders have high or low interest and high or low power. This theory consists of 3 steps. Step 1 is to identify your stakeholders. In this case study, our stakeholders range from the owners of Pukka Herbs, Tim Westwell and Sebastian Pohl, Unilever, their 120 employees, their suppliers and farmers, the communities they are involved with, and their customers. Step 2 is to prioritize your stakeholders. Some stakeholders have high power and/or an interest in your company. It is important to identify who falls in each quadrant. Pukka Herbs owners have high power and high interest, whereas customers have low power but may have a high interest. Step 3 is to understand your stakeholders. Stakeholders can be vital to the success of a company, therefore it is necessary to successfully identify and understand their wants, needs, and desires as thoroughly as possible. Although this theory may be useful in some cases, it is not the most relevant theory for us to use when crafting this report. The third theory we will dive into is David Body's Environmental Influences Framework, which is our chosen theory. The framework acknowledges that people use resources from the external environment, otherwise known as inputs, and transform them through managing processes into outputs, which result in the goods and/or services of a company, which they hope will gain a better value as a result. They aim to put these back into the environment along with the value they have obtained in return for money, reputation, and goodwill. They may even opt to donate to charities and communities, which will allow them to use new resources to continue their business. This is something that Pukka Herbs have adopted and have been doing with their company. I bet you're wondering why this theory is the most relevant to use for this assignment. Pukka Herbs are a brilliant example of how Body's framework has been used effectively. Pukka Herbs work with people, such as herb farmers, in over 20 different countries around the world. They aim to invest money into the communities their workers are from, allowing for a better quality of life for them and their communities. We will also use Body's framework further when writing our report. It will be used to analyze their competitors and the people within the business, such as their workers. Along with these 2 factors, we will also investigate the other aspects of the model in order to identify if Pukka Herbs, after their collaboration with Unilever, are able to retain their ethical approach to business. Through our research, we have been able to identify some of Pukka Herbs' competitors, and some of the most popular tea brands in the UK is being Tetley, Twinings, and PG Tips. Each of these companies have a unique selling point, such as PG Tips is the first major UK tea brand to sell fully Rainforest Alliance certified black and green teas. Twinings aim to improve the quality of life in communities where they are sourcing their products, which highlights why they are competitors for Pukka Herbs. They all claim to create a better and healthier world for not only the environment, but for their workers and their communities. In conclusion, we have experience going through Body's framework and Tuckman and Jensen's stages of group development. In relation to the research, we have developed our understanding of the Pukka Herbs' company via their ethical background and gathered information about their collaboration with Unilever. Analyzing the information we currently have and using the Body framework to provisionally prove that Pukka Herbs is not an ethical sellout. They have contributed far too much to the communities, welfare of their workers, along with other environmental charities to use it as a marketing ploy. The information gathered shows how Tim and Sebastian are about making the world a better and more fair place. Our next steps are based on the SMART objectives previously set. We hope to use both companies' ethics along with Body's framework to prove that they are not an ethical sellout. The environmental influences will allow us to construct a firm conclusion. We will also further analyze information presented in the case study to aid the development of our research. The feedback provided on this proposal will give us good insight of how we can alter the structure of our report. Finally, we aim to ensure the report is submitted with all guidelines met, adequate information, and completed to the highest standard.